Okay, let's go ahead and get started. My name is David Clayton. I'm challenging 82-year-old Virginia Fox for North Carolina's District 5. I'm running on a, quite simply put, anti-corruption and integrity campaign and returning the definition of the word representative back to the constituents of North Carolina, as well as since it's a federal office nationwide. Yeah, that's pretty much the nuts and bolts of it. You can go to Clayton, the number 4nc.com, click on the issues tab, and you can see listed out in order of priority the things that I want to go after. I do have a 2-term plan, so I do not want to be a career politician. I want to get in. I want to call out the corruption and work my butt off to remove the corruption and expose it so that others will not be obstructed in making policy because of the bought and paid for system. I cannot be bought by super PACs. I do not accept any foreign funded organizations' contributions. Probably the biggest one top of mind is APAC, but others don't even understand it's such a widespread problem, regardless of which side of the aisle you're on, that it affects even home-based organizations like the NRA that accepts funds from places like Hungary and Russia. So we need to get foreign-funded organizations out of politics entirely so that the people actually have every day in touch with reality, Americans representing them as our founders first designed. So that's my 30-second spiel, and I'll turn it over to my good friend. And I want to say again, thank you for your service, Kyle. As a veteran, I am not a veteran, as you know, my friends. My family served. I come from a long lineage of veterans, but I absolutely go out of my way to do everything I possibly can for veterans and veterans care, such as yourself, and to pay respect where respect is due, and give thanks to people like you that did honor your oath during service and after.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. I will say we're kind of like yin and yang. I served, but I do not come from a family, a long line of veterans. In fact, majority of my family was never in the military. I had no idea what I was going to do when I went in. That's how little I knew about the military. Um, but so, yeah, for everyone out there, my name is Kyle Gauck. I'm running for Congress in the second district of Connecticut. David and I click so well because we're the same person. We have the same thoughts, the same feelings. We want the same things, right? We want term limits. We want to get foreign money out of politics. We want to get corruption out of politics. We need to ban private stock trading, things like that. We'll do everything we can to support veteran initiatives, which is mainly what we're here to talk about tonight, being as Veterans Day is right around the corner. I was also invited to speak by 5051 in Hartford on Veterans Day. So if you guys are in Connecticut, please come by to Hartford, downtown Hartford near the Capitol building. And we got a little thing going on for veterans. It'll be a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I decided to run because I was kind of mad, if you will. You know what I mean? Like the world was flipping upside down in front of my face, and it was my family and my daughters, and I have to worry about they're going to grow up in that world, right? And I didn't like the direction it was going in, and I also didn't want to just sit on the sidelines, right? I wanted to fix things, so I decided to run, which is kind of wild, but here we are, and I think it's been a hell of a journey, and I get to meet some amazing people like you, and I'm excited for you to be my colleague. That it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, you and Captain Blaha, I hope he wins his race as well. I think we're going to do some damage when we get in there in order to, fix this broken system that we're currently having to suffer through.
It looks like, sorry to interject really quickly. It looks like Kyle, can you request me on TikTok so I can join that?
Yeah.
But it looks like there was some feedback on people are getting on TikTok.
Are you still picking up feedback?
I'm not. People in the comments on TikTok are saying that they are.
I think, Riley, can you still hear reverb? I just muted them. Well, I muted. Riley, can you hear reverb? I muted the microphone.
It's someone in the comments,
You're
Monica.
good now.
Hey, Monica Dean. Monica Dean is also running for office too. She just
Hey,
said,
Monica.
sounds good to me.
Sweet. So
But Blue Jean says yes, reverb. And
just
I need to send you an invite, right? Team Kyle.
I'm trying to, Edie, I'm not seeing you as invitable on the TikTok.
On the old TikToks.
Can you send, are you in the TikTok?
Let's
I
see.
am.
Oh, can't invite creators going live. Why does it say that? In
Maybe it's,
studio to play. Oh, are we in some stupid game?
I hope not. Riley, can you hear me now? Because I have the microphone muted for TikTok.
We are. We're in some stupid game in on TikTok Live. Okay, so let's get out of TikTok Live. TikTok, I'm sorry.
Wait,
I
wait.
have, we're in
What,
some stupid game. That's why it won't let me send an
Squid
invite.
Game for sure.
what do you mean we're in a game?
Like they do those back and forth boxing matches and just nonsense.
I'll jump off of
Stop.
TikTok and then try to rejoin and see if it will. I don't know. Hold on. I mean, I'm
Wait,
still
are
on Instagram, so
I'm
Instagram's
not
fine.
showing
But
you in the TikTok though, Edie.
It's probably because we're in this game. Um, okay, so I think what we have to do, you know what? Why don't you? I'll log off. Why don't you create a live, Kyle, on TikTok, and
Okay.
I'll follow you
oh,
there.
I think I found it. Hold on. Don't do anything. Don't go anywhere. Everybody pause.
The campaign manager has spoken.
That's right. David can turn down his volume a bit. It says only when I talk, so it's coming through your speakers.
Okay, Kyle, can you now try to add me on TikTok?
I just saw you pop up, which you weren't
I'm in the
before.
You know
comments.
what? Let me put in my headphones, and maybe that'll help.
I I think he's right though. I can't add anybody. I can't invite anybody up. I
Yeah,
think he's
I got
right.
a banner that said can't invite multi guests during game.
During
So
game?
yeah.
Yeah, they have those boxing matches where like you can compete, but you're supposed to just go back and forth.
Okay, so we should, with me doing that, it should mute my phone, and we shouldn't have any more reverb on the TikTok.
Yes. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I could have done the same thing.
Yeah, I think we have to end the TikTok, and why don't you, Kyle, create a TikTok live, and I'll send me an invite there, and I'll join, and just make sure you don't do what apparently I did, which was create a game.
Create a game. Yeah. So all right. So if you're in the live, I'm gonna try to keep my live open. David's gonna leave. That should hopefully end the game because I don't think I'm part of the. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'm just trying not to make people. Okay. Okay. I think we're good. Let me see if I can because I have a multi-guest option now.
See if you can send me an invite to the.
Yeah. Here we go. And then I need you to join the live in the chat.
See, this is how you guys know that we don't accept super PAC dark money because
I'm
we don't have. I mean, not to say that Edie isn't fantastic and my campaign manager isn't fantastic because you both should know that you are, but we definitely don't have teams of people
managing this.
while we're online pretending that we're doing everything ourselves like everyday Americans.
You're right.
We
Yeah.
actually are
Oh, we
everyday
are everyday
Americans.
Americans. We don't know how to work TikTok live.
Oh, I see. Okay, let me.
Riley, can you hear me now?
I see you're live, and I'm going to send a guest request.
There we go. Okay.
Let's see if that works. Joining. I have to turn on the camera.
This is great. 17 minutes in. I'm
All
super
right, we
glad that
did
we
it.
got this figured out.
We
I
we
promise this
did
will
it.
go so much
Hey,
smoother next time,
and you know
guys.
what? It's actually a much better angle for me on TikTok, so I'm happy with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, do we want to? I know we've been all over the place, but if we just want to do like a quick rundown again, since I know we've had some people come and go. Um, David, if you just want to do a quick like 2 sentence rundown, who you are, why you're running. Kyle, we'll do the same thing for you again, who you are, why you're running. And then I do really want to make sure that we hit and get a good discussion going on both of your veterans policies and get some dialogue going there. So, David, if you want to start.
Hi, everybody. My name is David Clayton. I'm running for North Carolina's District 5 in the 2026 midterms, challenging 82-year-old Virginia Fox. All of my top priority issues can be found on Clayton, the number 4nc.com. And I just want to get us back to less polarization, less division, and back to the red, white, and blue.
Hell yeah, I love it. My name's Kyle Gauck, and I'm running for Congress in the second district of Connecticut. Um, Same as David, I want to get us. I said this in a video the other day. I want to get us back to the America we had before, but without all the bigotry and the racism and the misogyny and the sexism, right? So there's definitely room to improve on where we were in the past, but getting rid of this like oligarchical, uh, authoritarian dictatorship is probably priority number one for me. Definitely want to do that. So my name's Kyle Gauck. Again, Congress, second district in Connecticut. You can go to kylegauck.com, or you can just Google search my name. The website will come up. There you can donate. You can volunteer. We love volunteers. Or you can sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Comes out every Thursday.
Everything that Kyle just said applied to my campaign as well. We need volunteers. We definitely, I mean, I know times are tough. I know we're dealing with things that are being intentionally done by this administration to harm everyday Americans. And make no mistake, that's by design. They want people hurting. They want people not to be able to go out to places like DC for the remove the regime rally or to donate to candidates that you support. They're intentionally trying to keep the people down. But as we just saw in the last election, they can keep on trying. The people are going to keep on continuing to show up because one thing has proven the test of time with Americans. We are pig-headed, we are stubborn, and we won't be controlled by anyone. So I
Absolutely not.
appreciate your donations, your support, just as much as Kyle does, because we are dependent on it, because we're not getting those millions upon millions of dollars that's originating from God knows where.
Yeah, did you see Zoran said yesterday or the day before? He goes, "They're spending more to elect Cuomo than I would tax them." Does
Right.
that not tell you everything you need to know?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that not wild?
It's because they're terrified of even the slightest uh, minuscule percentage increase to their own taxes, because they're afraid that that's going to set a trend in the forward momentum of them actually, for once, having to pay their own fair share. And sooner or later, they're not even going to be able to claim that they deserve all these tax breaks and tax cuts for being so-called job creators when we're seeing, I think, more job losses this month under this administration than in the last 30 years. 158,000 jobs lost, which is a record for 30 years ago. And these, people that Donald Trump and these establishment types that are trying to protect, these so-called, job creators, they're laying off humans because they're getting ready for this mass influx of replacement, actual replacement theory with robots and
Yeah.
AI. So how are you going to get tax breaks and tax cuts as a job creator when you're firing human beings and replacing them for the product and the work with robots?
Not only is that the current jobs number that we know about, that's speculative, right? Because he's not releasing the real reports
Right.
because the government's shut down.
It's probably much higher.
Worse. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're here to talk about veterans initiatives. We really can let the conversation run loose with the chat. So, kind of like a town hall forum, but we want to get through the veteran stuff first. We want to make sure we get our policies out there for people to hear. Um, so, David,
Why
if
don't
you
we
want to
start
go,
with a quick trivia question to,
ooh,
we'll ease into it.
okay,
Don't put us on the spot too much. We are
yeah.
actually everyday Americans.
Do
I
you
didn't go to Harvard.
know what year was the first year that Veterans Day, as we know it, was held, declared, celebrated?
I Kyle, do you know this?
I don't. I want to say it was after,
It
probably
was
after Vietnam.
No, it was much before that. It was either during or right after the Civil War, and it was formed by an all-black brigade of Union soldiers.
She said Veterans Day. Are you talking about the
Yeah,
VA itself or Veterans Day?
Veterans Day.
So, yes, halfway. There was Armistice Day, which was
Armistice
celebrated
Day.
first, and that was kind of like the precursor
Hmm.
to Veterans Day. But as we know it, when it's held in November, the first year that was celebrated was in 1954.
No.
And it was coming out of World War One and like honoring all the people that served during that, World War.
Okay, so I was halfway.
Hey,
Yeah,
Armistice
listen,
Day.
you were 50% more than I was. I was 0% there. So
that is true. More points for David.
No.
you're right. Hey, PT82, thanks for sharing the live. I appreciate that.
Yeah, PTA too is a mutual of mine, a great guy. And hey, Slava Ukraina, Ukraini Heroyam Slava. He's very, very supportive, especially of American veterans that are over serving with the Foreign Legion, risking their own lives for another country's freedom
Yeah,
over in Ukraine. So, yeah, big shout out to PTA too.
nice. You got any more trivia questions that I can flunk?
No, that was the only one. It was a fun little icebreaker. There was a question in the chat that I actually am googling on the side. David, this is a fun fact for you. As we
No.
talk, I will usually Google things
Hmm.
to make sure that we have the right answer to give to people. But somebody asked how many veterans vote each time, and I'm trying to figure out an actual number.
Well, I believe there's currently what three? Is it 3 or 10 million? How many
Veterans?
veterans? How many veterans do we have today? And I know every single year there's drop off from aging out, and then obviously the tragic way that we lose
Yeah,
veterans every day.
yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
Um,
think it was
As
that
of
high. Is it 10 million?
2023, it says approximately 15.8 million in the
right,
US.
right. And the statistics of them voting, I believe, is roughly around 65%.
All
You're
right.
nailing it. You can answer it. I'm taking you to Jeopardy.
How'd I do, Edie? Tell me if I'm wrong.
I'm working on that one, but for
Oh,
now you're doing
okay.
great. We'll go with it, but I'm looking for
Okay.
an answer.
Nice.
I will. I mean, since we're all focusing around veterans and things that we hope to achieve and everything, I will state, kind of jumping the gun here, that it's absolutely abhorrent, vile, despicable, and shameful behavior by this administration and Doug Collins and Tommy Tuberville and the Senate, wanting to now go after um, uh, nonprofit organizations that are helping veterans with their disability claim status, because they don't want veterans that are disabled to receive benefits. For all of the talk of Republicans really support our veterans, but I mean, show me when and where. I'm sorry, but historical data, especially voting data, with Congress, with both the Senate and the House, shows a continued resolution of Republicans blocking veterans care,
Yep.
blocking veterans benefits,
So
and that's just a fact if you look up the voting records.
the PACT Act, which is arguably the biggest veterans bill passed in the last decade, right? 30, I think it was 34 Republicans voted for it out of 256 votes to
Right,
pass it.
right.
34 Republicans. The rest of the Republicans voted no,
And they
no.
did that only for political reasons.
Oh yeah,
They didn't want to give Biden a win.
no.
For the exact same reason, in my opinion, one of the main reasons, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons the government is shut down and Republicans are holding firm on wanting the subsidies to lapse on the Affordable Care Act is because the order came down from the top, from Trump, because it's listed as Obamacare, and Obama signed it into law. And that is the only reason they want to get rid of it, is because Trump wants to erase anything and everything that just has the name Obama or Biden attached to it, regardless if it helps Americans or not.
I think that's part of it, but I also
He's
think
so jealous.
He
he's
is.
jealous. I think
He's a
there's
petty, tiny little man. He's a
I think
horrible
there's
person.
definitely a part of it still though where he wants to give tax breaks to his billionaire friends, and
Oh, that obviously.
he needs to find ways to cut that or to replace that funding, and that's to take it from the rest of us.
See, but it's not even. I disagree with that. I mean, yes, that's part of it. They want to take every little ounce, but comparatively, looking at what they're looking to cut from Medicaid from the One Big Beautiful Bill towards the amount of subsidies for ACA, it's apples and oranges. The subsidies for ACA is huge, but
Oh yeah.
it's nothing compared to the money that they want to cut from Medicaid. So I really think it's just vindictive, It's backed in racism and his own inferiority complex. I mean,
He's a tiny little man. He
he is
really
a
is.
he is a tiny little man, and I guess I have to be careful how I word this on TikTok. I can be less so freely on Instagram, but intellectually, he is a zero. He is one of the most
It's a
unintelligent,
negative.
one of the most unintelligent, um, not just elected officials or president of the United States we've ever had, but American. He is one of the dumbest people that America has
Has
ever
produced.
seen.
Yeah,
He
no, I
really
agree.
he really is. He's just dumb. I mean,
100%. I agree. I
plain
wanna
and
I
simple.
wanna touch on those. So PT82 brought up this in the Instagram or the TikTok chat because are you guys familiar with the effort to keep veterans from receiving the pension and disability?
Right.
So
That's what I just spoke on them going after the nonprofits that are helping veterans with fill out their pension paperwork and fill out their disability
So
status
this is
claim paperwork.
different. So this is a bill that Democrats tried to bring to the floor recently that the Republican leadership just shot down and wouldn't let a vote on it. And the bill basically allowed for veterans who are disabled and retired to also get their pension on top of their disability. They can
Oh,
only,
right.
as of right now, they can only collect one. They can't
Yeah.
collect two. And the argument from Senator Blumenthal of my state, which is amazing, is and I agree with him wholeheartedly. It's two different things, right? You're
Hmm.
it's not double dipping. You're hurt. Like you physically are hurt for the rest of your life. That's your disability.
Right.
You served 20 plus years, that's your retirement. Those two things, that's not double dipping.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have earned both of those things.
Well,
Um,
you know that attack on this taking away the two is an extension of the attack for the first term that didn't go after veterans, but went after veterans' family members from deceased veterans because they took away the widow's benefit. The widows and the family members were able to receive both the death benefits as well as the pension benefits, and they took that away from the family members during this first term.
yeah.
So
It's
now they're going after directly the veterans. They went
it,
after the families the first term. Now they're going after the veterans themselves.
Yeah. Riley, I didn't take that as a jab for the record. I was already cooked up about this. I've been cooked up about this for months. I promise you, I didn't take that as a jab. Um, so I forgot what I was going to say now. I just got an invite to come up here, and I'm sorry. We definitely would love to bring people up. Maybe towards the end we can bring people up and take questions. But right now we're just going to keep it like this. Um, so yeah, let's jump into veterans policies. What do you think? You ready?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So most of my policies are derived from real life experience, whether that be from being a veteran or not, right? So one of the things we want to do is create an Uber-like situation for the VA. So often outside the Dunkin' Donuts in my town, you'll see a guy who's a veteran. He works with the VFW. He'll stand out there with a table and a bucket, and it's got an American flag on it. He'll be collecting change to pay for rides for veterans to get to their healthcare appointments.
Mm.
The fact that we have to do that in the richest country in the world, it makes me
All
sick.
right.
It makes me upset. And so, one of the policies we would like to put fourth is having an Uber style app that's tied to the VA app. So
Hmm.
when it's time for your appointment, you call the Uber through the VA app. It's paid for through the VA. Somebody comes and picks you up, takes you to your appointment, takes you back home. Especially in an area like mine, and I think like yours too, but it's very rural. And
Yeah.
so getting to and from the VA is not the easiest thing in the world out here, especially in the winter.
I
So
like that
anything we can
idea.
do to help. Yeah.
I like that idea, and it's practical too. If we've got money for DHS to continually rent cars all over the nation, we should be able to have money. I mean, not even to rent cars. We have a fleet of government vehicles, so we've already got the stuff in stockpile.
Hmm.
I like that idea. I think that's really practical. When I lived in Ohio, there was a 92-year-old World War II vet, nicest guy in the world, and uh, he was waiting for, this was before Choice Act. He was waiting for a new prescription, and he had this massive crack through one of his lenses. And I said, "Well, how long you been? When's your appointment? Is it like next week or something?" He's like, "No, I've been waiting for about 7 months now." And it's like, this guy is, and he showed me all his medals and everything. I mean, he had the World War II, not just the uh, victory medal, but he had a ton of ribbons, a ton of medals. A combat vet, which pretty much everyone in World War II was. But yeah, he was just. It's just like, man, if we can't even take care of our World War II vets, what the hell are we doing?
Right.
Um, I like that idea though. That's practical, and that's one of the things that my campaign really focuses on is practical solutions that are actually possible, that should not have any excuse to be argued against when they're easily achievable.
Right. Absolutely.
Someone just
So
said Christy Nome has a private jet. I think we can afford transportation for our vets.
I saw that, and
Yes.
then Eli goes,
She
now she
has
actually
two.
has two.
She has two. $172 million later. And the thing about that too is that she already had two private jets. One was on the older side. It was handed
Well, we can't
over
have that,
in
David. We can't have
2002.
old private jets. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, her oldest private jet is still newer than my car. Um, But the second one was handed over in like 2016, and these luxury jets and government equipment are really well maintained, unless you're an enlisted service personnel, and then they're not maintained at all unless you do it yourself. I've been told, but yeah, it's just the amount of calling yourself MAGA and fiscally conservative is such an oxymoron in what this Trump administration is doing because of the reckless spending and the anti-America First agenda, which even MAGA Americans are seeing themselves now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we saw that big shift, right? I think we saw that swing in the polls, where people came out and voted in droves, which I love. And honestly, we need to I need to make some more videos on this topic, but we need to keep that momentum going, right? We still have a fight ahead of us.
Right.
The day after that massive win across the country, we had ICE go into a daycare and rip a woman out in front of children, and she was working there in a classroom. And the parents that went to pick up their kids are like, I got there, my kids were crying everywhere,
Oh,
teachers
the
were
kids
crying.
kids are
Just
absolutely
traumatized
traumatized.
them. Yeah,
Traumatized.
traumatized. And this is the day after that. So after the big win across the country. So I love what we did. I love that everyone showed up. I can't express how proud I am of the folks around the country. We still have a massive fight ahead of us, and we need to
I,
keep that
I
at the
I
front.
love it too, and especially send my utmost respect to the marginalized communities, the Latino and Latina communities, and the Black communities, because they're being baited every day to not be peaceful, and they're not taking the bait. But I will say, you've seen my post. I've said for the longest time since this started happening, this police state that is not providing any kind of legal authority in the form of judicial warrants with naming individuals. These ICE people aren't even having name tapes on, or displaying their badges, or displaying their faces, or their officer ID number, or having a business professional card like all law enforcement is supposed to have on them. And I've been saying, like, you know, I know it's scary, and I want everybody to be peaceful. I want them to not be offensive in their actions, but read up on your state self defense laws and exercise them to the letter if need be. Act out in defensive measures. And, I'm not advocating for violence, but I am advocating for self protection. We're getting to a point where the Wild West isn't that far off anymore from people just having to protect themselves from being abducted. Because now we're seeing U.S. citizens. I mean, they've already been being arrested and harassed and detained and pepperballed, shot in the face, priests, and all these different things. But now we're seeing things like that side swipe of that ICE vehicle that
Oh, but the Mercedes Benz, where
side
they sideswiped her
They
and
sideswiped
and
the
then they
woman
arrested her and
and went
dragged her
out
away.
with their firearms
Yep,
drawn on her,
yep, saw that.
completely unprofessional, and then dragged her out of the car as if she did something wrong. Um, and I'll tell you what, for anyone that's afraid of, well, then, if you protect yourself and live through it, they'll arrest you and you'll go to court. Hey, the sub sandwich hero guy, pun intended, was just found not guilty for chucking his sub sandwich at that ICE officer, who the ICE officer went and lied and said that he thought there might have been an explosive device within it because the sandwich exploded on his vest. And the defense attorney just brought up the video and said, Your Honor, look, the sub sandwich is in its wrapper still. It's on the ground. The entire world and internet had a great laugh over it. There was no harm. And the jury found him not guilty. He
They're the
walked.
biggest snowflakes. You know
They
that
re-
they
they
really
really are.
are.
They really are. I know the clock app doesn't like the COWARD word, but they absolutely are the epitome of
Oh yeah.
COWARD. And the suspicions are um, coming true on seeing tattoo recognition and uh, compare and contrast with independent journalists and citizen journalists finding faces that are exposed to faces on previous incidents like J6,
Yeah.
or the P Boys grouping or Patriot Front. These are not trained federal officers.
They're not,
This
and they're collecting massive paychecks right now while the rest of the government's shut down.
while military personnel, even
Are not
active
getting paid. Yeah,
duty,
right,
are not getting paid. Do you hear about
right.
the 250 soldiers at Leavenworth?
No.
Yeah, they're all going without food right now because the mess hall is privately contracted during the government shutdown. No private contractor in the mess hall. And the senior leadership at Leavenworth in Kansas is saying, I don't know, just drive off base and find some food somewhere out of their own money. This is the Trump administration.
Isn't Leavenworth in Missouri? Is it in Kansas?
Uh, Kansas
Anyway,
City?
doesn't matter.
Is it outside of
Really
Kansas
quickly,
City,
we have
Missouri?
some
I don't
people
know.
who I think are just joining us and asking who you guys are. So if you'll just do, I know we've done this already, but
I want it
hi,
real
new
quick though.
people,
Yeah,
quick
we're
rundown, and then also I've seen a couple people in the chat say if I could campaign for you, I would. Fun fact: you can help either of them campaign from anywhere. We need phone banking, we need volunteers, we'll need postcard people. Go to both of our respective websites, David's and Kyle's. I don't know, sorry, they're all over on my screens, wherever they are. Go to their websites. You can sign up. We have volunteer lists. Yes, you can campaign for both of them from wherever you are. That would be lovely.
Clayton,
For
CLAY.
context, I am Kyle's campaign manager. I'm not just a random person. But we're all on the same team. So,
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits I have is that I can endorse someone like Kyle as he's running as a Dem and I'm an independent, and it's harder for me to get endorsements, especially from the establishment Dems, because they want that blue or nothing, and we really got to get back to people and policy over any given party, and I fully support Kyle's people like 80, as well as absolutely himself and his policies. So Clayton, the number 4nc.com. I'm running to challenge 82-year-old. That's 82. Virginia Fox. It's time for her to retire, and Kyle is Kyle4 Congress.com, and we appreciate all your support.
I'm actually KyleGauck.com.
Are you? I thought it was Kyle
Yeah.
for Congress.
No, that's just my name everywhere.
Well, shit.
It's all good. Yeah, so it's KyleGauck.com, Gauck. I am running to challenge Joe Courtney, who is also of retirement age, or past retirement age, who also voted for a pro-ICE bill, but he's a Democrat. Voted for the Day of Remembrance of Charlie Kirk, but he's a Democrat. Voted to table the impeachment articles against Donald Trump, but he's a Democrat. Um, and then recently the CT Mirror just put out an article about how in my state he's the second most aligned with Donald Trump out of all the representatives in the state. So there's that. But anyway, yep, go running against
You
Joe
know,
Courtney. I'm a veteran. I believe in common sense policies. I have I have independents, I have Republicans actually in my DMs telling me they're going to support me. I have a couple signing up to volunteer for the campaign because
Yeah.
our policies just make sense, right? They're just for the betterment of people to make this country a happy, healthy place, and that's all, right? Put corporations back in their place where they belong, which is to serve the people.
Yeah. And change and right some wrongs that have been wrong and escalating in wrong for far too long. One of my I mean, I've got a slew of veterans initiative. One of the ones that's my life mission is the Character by Integrity Act to house homeless veterans. Finally, instead of all these programs that are just temporary assistance programs that are making the boards of those organizations rich beyond belief, that are doing the bare minimum while they're bringing in a ton of money, like Wounded Warriors Project. Sorry, Wounded Warriors Project, but you're worth a lot more than you're giving back. And at the end of the day, it's still just a temporary assistance program that doesn't solve the problem. So programs like mine, that is a permanent solution to house homeless veterans and is multi-beneficial, that fixes up the landscape of the economy and reinvigorates and allows first-time buyers of new homes to become first-time buyers of new homes. It's so multifaceted and really solves and addresses a lot of problems, but at its core, paying respect where respect is overdue to the veterans of our nation that have already earned this life, because we've got upwards of 250,000 veterans living on the streets. And don't believe the hype of the data that like the VA puts out, that 78% of them are either mentally unstable or suffer from substance abuse issues. That those numbers are completely misconstrued because their numbers are going off of how many homeless veterans are registered with the VA as homeless and whatever treatments they've gone through. And the VA only has 75,000 veterans registered and accepting benefits as homeless. So that means that there's 125,000 approximately that are not registered with the VA, that are not being diagnosed or cared for or receiving benefits. So the number that the VA puts out of 78% of their 75,000 is completely out of context if you're thinking about the entire number as a whole. And my own antiquated data, or anecdotal data from myself driving the country for 2 years between 2017 and 2019 and passing out survival gear to homeless veterans across 33 states, I only had, out of 312 veterans I helped, there was only one instance of obvious notable markers of mental instability or substance abuse. The rest of them, the majority of them, 99.9% of them, simply could not afford the cost of living.
Yeah,
They
there's
went overseas and served and busted up their bodies and their brains, and they came back and they just could not keep up with the cost of living because nobody can.
right. There's this program I used to volunteer for, um, and our main objective, it was called Vital, and it was funded by the city, not the federal government. And the main objective was to help all veterans receive their benefits. So basically, we sought out veterans coming out of the service or had been out of the service on the street. It didn't matter where they were, at what point in life they were in. But our job was to just go seek out veterans and make sure they know what their benefits are and then help them gain access to all of those benefits.
Right.
And that was one of the most like powerful things I've ever done in my life.
That's awesome.
It's such a great program. Um, and I think it's
And
still going on today. It's called Vital, Vital, if anyone wants to look it up. But
and that's one of the things that just blows my mind about this administration is like, what kind of person do you have to go out of your way to attack and go after nonprofit organizations that they're not making any money? Their only goal is to help veterans fill out complex paperwork and receive benefits. Like,
yeah,
what kind of person, what kind of president
insane.
would
Insane.
ever do
And
that?
I just in case we have any veterans in the chat, I know there's it, around 40 people in TikTok and 120 on Instagram. There's a lot of people out there that will try to scam you into creating your disability paperwork for you. And let me tell you, as a veteran who is just an average person, I'm not super intelligent, I'm not a lawyer. I did all of my own disability paperwork and got every dime that I should be getting.
Right.
And I did have to go through the appeal process, but it was super simple. The whole thing is super easy. And there is a lot of fake veteran organizations out there that will say they'll help you and they'll force you into signing a contract that takes 8 times your first paycheck or some other insane percentage of all of your paychecks for the rest of your
Yeah.
life. And they will try to force you into these contracts. And if you're already in one of those, I just gave this advice to a buddy the other day and it worked really well in his favor. If you're already in one of those contracts, because a lot of people fall for this stuff, it is completely illegal. You can just call them up or email them and say, "I'm not paying you another dime.
Right.
Do not harass me. Do not call," because it is illegal for them to do that. Just like David's talking about, what this administration is attacking, there is services out there for you to help you get your benefits for free, and that is what they
That
do.
are legit and registered in nonprofits. They're not
Exactly.
this vulture culture in our society today, and I'm sure the same pay to play organizations that are the scams doing this to veterans are the exact same spin-offs of the payday loan type businesses, or the companies that are approaching elderly and offering to buy their life insurance out for a quick paycheck, why they end up getting 99% of the life insurance
Or taking their
after the
houses.
person is, or taking their houses after the person has passed. We absolutely need laws going specifically against this specific type of vulture culture enterprise that are directly harming Americans across the board, whether it be the elderly or whether it be veterans, whether it be children. There are so many. And that's one of the things that Trump is in his deregulation is helping, because these companies are donating to him or giving him money or gifts. Um, you know, Trump is making the way for corruption to be normalized. I mean, we already have too much corruption legalized through Citizens United,
Yeah.
and Trump is just openly making illegal corruption normalized.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely need. And you know what? For the establishment Dems, like the guy you're challenging, I don't care if there's not enough votes for an impeachment to go through right now. Put your damn name on record and stand by it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Have
Have
a
have
spine.
some courage and some spine, even
Yep.
if you know the vote's going to fail. At least have some self-respect and say, at least my name is recorded in history as being on the right side of history.
Right.
But these Dems that just make an excuse and say, well, the vote's going to fail anyway, so I'm not going. It's like, what the hell are you even doing there then?
Yeah. No,
Really quickly, I
it's
want to interject. We got a question. Someone asked if either of you are taking money from Israel. I'm sorry. I don't think we can say that on TikTok. So,
APAC.
uh,
You could say APAC.
yeah, from APAC. Sure. Yes. Okay. APAC.
Yeah.
so
APAC and known APAC affiliations, I can, without any hesitation or reservation, say no. Never have, never will.
yeah, 100%, like Riley said in the chat, 100% no APAC whatsoever.
Yeah.
We don't need it. I've said since day one, if I can't win because the people want me there, I don't deserve to win. I don't need it and I don't want it. I would never take money and I would never help anybody support a genocide whatsoever. Can I say that word on here?
No.
I
And
said it. Too
no,
late.
you can't. But
We got two strikes.
even for people that argue, well, we have to support blue and white because of longstanding ally treaties. There's nothing within those treaties that gives them the right to buy politicians. Not a single thing. We do have to legally, even though the history of our country, we've got no problem betraying other treaties. But legally speaking, with treaties with our various allyships, we do have obligations to meet. But you know, I've always been outspoken and said I've got no problem sending arms to Israel, air defense, Patriot systems. That's it. Protect their
Yeah,
skies. They're
sure.
our so-called ally. Sure, I'll help them protect their skies, but no offensive weapons. Sorry,
Yeah,
they have their own weapons manufacturing within the blue and white. If they want to continue doing, as much as I disagree and I say it's immoral and it is the big WC that the International Criminal Courts have alleged, uh, then I stand firm against that. But they, just like any other country can, like Russia is doing with Ukraine right now, can go ahead and choose to violate international law and carry those things out. But we shouldn't be contributing to it. If we have to make our meet our obligations per treaties, I say, yeah, send them air defense weapons, and that's it. If they
Honestly,
want to attack other people under the justification that they're being attacked, then we'll protect their skies, and that's it, so that they won't be attacked. Done.
I'm of the opinion they're done. We cut them off now. We don't even get Patriot systems. They don't get defense from us. They don't get anything. The moment that they started slaughtering innocent women and children
Well,
was the
let's
moment
be
we
specific
stopped
about that.
being an ally to them.
Let's be specific about that because this is such a touchy subject because the you know neo Yahtzee club are seizing on this moment and riling up anti-Semitic support. So I've always differentiated between um, the Jewish faith, number one, and Israel as a state, number two, and the government of blue and white, as opposed to the people of the state itself, the citizens. Now, does that mean that all the citizens within that state are pure and good? No, we've been seeing horrendous activity in the colonization of areas that legally they shouldn't even be colonizing in. But there are still, we have to remember that there are still hundreds of thousands of their citizens that are protesting and have been protesting their own government's actions this entire time. So
Yeah, but
I
I'm
go
with
out of
you.
my way daily because I see the comments flooding into my posts daily saying Jew this and Jew that, and I delete those comments outright. If you want to leave a comment against Zionism or the what the government is doing um, illegally, immorally, then that's fine. You can leave those on my pages all the time. But if you come into my comment section, you say Jew this, Jew that, you're deleted, and I'm removing you from following me because that is just putting forward that message that it is. I mean, all that is doing is carrying on what
Nobody,
those people fled
nobody
from.
should be associating all of them together. The
Yeah,
government as like it's like people associating us, right, as Donald Trump supporters, right,
yeah,
because we're American, and that's just not the case. That's not the case in Israel either. Um, but I have to say, there comes a
yeah.
point though
This
where,
Riley person said it perfect. You can be pro-Jewish but
but
anti-Israel
anti-Israel
state.
state,
Yeah, that's
absolutely,
absolutely true. Yeah,
100%. And I mean honestly, that's we celebrate Hanukkah in my household, and we're anti-Israel state.
right, right.
Right? I mean, how can you get more pro-Jewish, anti-Israel state than that, right? And so I completely agree. I just think that at some point, when we're looking at who our allies are around the world, ally is who we want to be aligned with, right? And I don't know that I want to be aligned with the Israel government at all whatsoever, and under any circumstance at this point. And we have, you're right, we've perpetuated this. We've allowed this to happen
Right.
by providing them with, I mean, one of the biggest things Donald Trump did when he first took office was give them a Moab, the mother of all
No, I
bombs.
know, I know, I know, I
And
know.
it's like,
And for any news headline that is bought and paid for and saying that, the ceasefire is on the verge of breaking, what are you talking about? It didn't even last 24 hours. There
right,
is no
there
ceasefire.
is
What
no
the hell
ceasefire.
are you talking about?
Absolutely.
Really
Um,
quickly, this is
yeah,
obviously a super important topic. We could do a whole live on this
yeah, we
solely,
could, we
but I
could.
do want to circle back because we only have like 5 minutes left. Um,
We only have 5 minutes left.
I had I had
I got
lead-ins.
no problem going longer if you want to go
Yeah,
longer,
we
Kyle.
can go over.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right?
well, I know childcare was a discussion, so
My wife just got home. We're good.
Oh, hey, girl.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's why I
Melissa.
turned and
Oh,
smiled.
I
Right.
see. I thought you were talking about childcare as a policy, not
Oh,
as a personal issue.
no, no, no.
See,
No.
my dog's asleep on the bed, so my childcare is taken
No,
care
my
of.
my that's why I was like 2 minutes late to signing on. My wife was out of town for a work conference, and she was driving home from Boston, and so I was trying to like feed my kids, get them down to bed, get them ready for bed, all this stuff before jumping on here.
Right.
But she just got home. So okay, so sorry, Edie. What's the topic now?
I was just gonna bring it back to You know.
Also, can we talk about how I love your beats around your neck, like DJ
I
Edie?
was just noticing that myself. Yeah.
Okay, so I have little like in ears, but they hurt my ears after I like wear them for a while. So this is what like the Instagram is coming through, and my microphone is on here, and my
North
iPad is
Carolina,
split.
elect me to Congress, and I will make sure the earbud pain goes away.
Finally, the real
I mean,
problems.
We'll regulate
that's
comfort of earbuds.
that's basically a Trump campaign promise, you know.
Right.
They're saying, I will make sure that everybody gets Fanta in the drinking water.
Right. Right.
God, he's so
Everyone
stupid.
needs a Poppy branded fridge in their house.
Listen, if you know anybody at Poppy, Edie is insistent that we
I
have
have
one in the office when we
I have
get there.
no idea what that is.
I don't. It's
They're
some
like
drink.
Oh, is it that
little.
soda, that water
It's like
soda
soda
thing?
water.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like probiotic soda. It's supposed to
Oh
be
my
healthier. I
God.
don't know that
Okay.
it really is, but I will say they're not as carbonated as like most sodas, so they're actually like pleasant to drink and don't taste like I'm like eating sand while I'm drinking something. So,
Did the
that's
marketing
beside the point.
did the marketing influence you? Because I've
Probably.
never I've never heard a drink described as just the right amount of carbonation. I didn't know we'd reached a technological prowess where companies can now regulate exactly how carbonated it
Oh
is.
no,
They
there's a
probably can.
difference. There are
Isn't it
Honestly, they
just
probably
definitely
can.
like
carbonated or
canned
not?
beverages that are have way too much carbonation, and it like tastes spicy because it's way too carbonated.
Hey,
I like a
listen,
little mix,
All
so I
right.
don't want just
So
like straight
I
water with
love
no
this
sparkle, but I
conversation,
this
might
but
is
still like.
totally going off the mark.
you did start off with let's talk about, and then we went into Poppy. So
I'm
what were
so
you
sorry.
gonna?
That is entirely my
You
fault.
can't do that with someone with OCD because man, I'll just like hyper focus all night on carbonation levels. I'm gonna Google that after this.
See, that's the benefit of my ADHD is I can be like Poppy. Oh no, we were talking about something else. Poppy. Oh wait, yeah, orange fountain soda. Poppy.
To be fair, I did try to bring us back on topic, and somebody
To be
commented on the beats
fair,
around my neck. So,
to be
Fair.
fair,
All right,
to be
DJ Edie, what's up?
fair.
What's
but
next?
somebody in the comments did ask. It's back up, so I'm gonna have to paraphrase. But essentially said when we were talking about like, will you take money from APAC or support APAC? Somebody essentially said, have you been approached by any organizations like this so far? And slash, would you take money from them if you were? And I think it's important to note both campaigns, both candidates are grassroots, which means like it's people powered, people funded. We are not taking money from organizations. The entire intention behind that is to represent the people that put them in office. So if anyone wants to
I have
expand on that, please do.
I have not been approached, and I think it's because I'm outspoken on it. But I mean, part of my campaign manager hates when I say this because she thinks I'm giving it away. But you know, the cockiness and audacity of our current sitting representatives, I keep on telling her that it's not a worry that I'm giving away my plan publicly for free. Is that the type of organizations that would try to solicit me? Y'all are on notice because I'm going to catch every single one of you dirtbags in 4K as to what you're doing behind closed doors and who you're doing it with.
Yeah. No, 110%. There, these firms that are giving money to campaigns, they're not giving it out of the goodness of their heart because they think this is going to be a great person for the American people. They're not, right?
No.
There's a lot of shady stuff going on behind the scenes. And that needs to be uncovered. It really needs to be demasked, and we need to do something about it
Look,
when we find it.
here's the thing. Until we actually have affordability in the general public, where people can buy homes, where people can have sustainable grocery allotments and health care. I was born poor. I'm most likely going to die poor. In the in between, I am going to work my butt off to try to make it so that all of you are able to afford things by getting rid of this corruption that is stopping all of us from achieving all of these things. So that's again, that's like I said, I do believe in term limits, but I'm a realist and I understand that those that are policing Congress and would be able to set term limits are the ones benefiting most from the corrupt system. So I have a 2-term plan, 4 years. My first 2 years, I'm going to go in and basically, pardon my French, fuck shit up and call out the corruption in 4K. And then at the same time, hold hostage those that are going to have a legacy of being on the internet forever, of being called out of their corruption, unless they sign off on my long-term plans that it won't make a difference who the political party is that's in power, the swing, the back and forth, the pendulum. I want to put in place plans that it doesn't matter who is in charge, that those will stand the test of time kind of thing, and make our streets safer, make our country more affordable, take care of people during natural disasters, never, ever have the audacity, I love that word lately, audacity, to claim that we're the richest, greatest nation in the world, and we can't even feed children on SNAP right now. You know, I saw a video trending, funny as shit, but also sad but true, from an African mother feeding her babies, saying, "Be sure to eat your whole plate. There's children starving in America right now."
I saw
Turning it on its head, and it is absolutely so freaking true. And that just blows my mind. That's where we're at. You know, we all, especially for the older generation that grew up with parents like my mother, that would say, make sure you eat your entire dinner. There's starving kids in Africa right now. Basically saying, don't take what you have for granted and be thankful for everything that we have. But that is turned on its head right now, where there's literal mothers in Africa telling their children, be sure to eat all of your dinner because there's starving kids in America right now.
Yeah.
That's the state. That's the reality of where we are right now. And that is, so that shit pisses me off.
It should piss everybody as you down the rock star.
I need to put down I need to put this. Yeah, sorry, Yogi. I know you're watching. The rock star is way over there. I'll calm down.
David, I'll send you some poppy. You can try those.
No, please don't. Please
can't be more carbonated than Rockstar.
It's probably way less carbonated, and probably also less sugar, and definitely less caffeine.
Well, my Rockstar has 0 sugar. Thank you very much.
So I mean, I'm with you. It's disgusting.
Okay, you called out my OCD. Pure zero.
But what's in it instead? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't have. It really doesn't have the fructose or sucralose or any of those things, and it doesn't have the what's that cancer-causing one? The aspartame.
Ooh, yeah.
It does. It's actually one of the healthiest damn energy drinks, if that's possible.
We're gonna have a poppy vending machine in our office, and he's gonna have a Rockstar vending machine in his office.
Dude,
that's gonna happen.
So
whoever owns Rockstar, I think it's Pepsi, please sponsor me. That's the only dark money I would ever take in the form of Rockstar.
Oh, we're calling for sponsors, then hey, Poppy, hey.
Whoa.
We said sponsors, not donations, all right?
No. I'll take the ASPCA.
Okay,
the ASPCA could sponsor us.
I'm going to reel us back in, because we did get a good policy-related question for both of you. What are your thoughts on the current disability policies within the VA?
They're shit. I'm sorry, pardon my French. Kyle would actually have more firsthand knowledge about this. My 30-second, my 10-second on it is that we're not doing enough, and we're making it too hard for veterans to achieve not only treatment but approval, and their top rating of their disability. It's not enough. We don't have enough resources, and we should.
So you nailed it on the head, right? And I can speak as someone with firsthand experience going through the disability process. It's very difficult. And I say it's difficult. It's not difficult. You can do it. I encourage everyone to do it, and to do it yourself, or go through one of the organizations we talked about earlier that are out there. Don't get scammed. And you can find those through your local VA. They will tell you who is associated with them that can help you apply for your disability benefits. That being said, it seems cumbersome. It seems overwhelming, because you have to put in order to claim certain things, right? Like I have really bad elbows. Like I can't hold my children for more than 2 or 3 minutes before my elbow literally wants to give out and my arms just fall. And and it's called some crazy medical term that I can't pronounce. I don't even know the name of it. But I had to figure that out in order to submit the disability for my elbow.
Tennis elbow?
It's essentially Tommy John's, essentially that.
Right.
Yeah. But it's got an official name, and you have to know the official name. It's like burkiolitis pot apprentice, right? Something like that.
Uh,
It's really that
Nailed it.
crazy. Thanks. And
nailed
You
it.
should be a doctor, actually. Why are you
yeah,
running for
yeah, I
Congress?
was. Yeah, yeah. In a
I
past
think
life.
I think I saw one of those. That was in Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So, so it needs to be we need to put Apple in charge of it, if I'm being honest. Apple has a no, hear me out, hear me out. At least the designers at Apple. Apple has a terrible phone compared to an Android. But why does everybody love Apple? Because the user interface is so
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
It's so simple. And we need the designers of the user interface, the UI at Apple, to do a UI for the VA.
I think we can get away from the guy that just presented Trump with a 24 karat gold plate
Listen, it doesn't have
to
to be
to
him.
to
Just be
get
the people.
you know the reason why he did that, right? One of the only
Are they
things
excusing his tariffs?
no, well, probably, but one of the only things Garland did, because Garland sure as shit didn't do enough, was an antitrust lawsuit against Apple. It was pretty much the only thing that the Biden DOJ under Garland did. So that's why Tim Cook gave kissed the ring to Donald Trump, was to get the DOJ to drop that crap.
I'm
And
so tired
and
of this.
no,
It should be illegal. Like
it's
it's a
corruption plain.
corporation.
Everything
Right.
is corruption plain and simple.
Right.
Don
In
Jr.
the
just got a
broad
government
daylight.
contract from the Pentagon for the drone company that he's invested in. Barron Trump is short selling crypto stock that are in direct correspondence with Trump's specific tariffs. It is corruption, plain and simple. And if you remember, for the past 5 years, the huge scandal was Hunter Biden and Burisma, and
Yeah.
what, $10 million, $20 million he made off of that. But now we're upwards of $3 billion with Trump and his family, and MAGA people are just silent on it. And they're like, "Oh,
Silent.
well, at least he's doing it out in the public." That's
Yeah.
literally one of the Trump administration's. Or Carolyn Levitt, she said that about a
She's
month and a
insane.
half ago. She literally said, well, he's doing everything out in the public. You see everything. It's like, so that makes it okay. So if I go and rob a bank without a ski mask on, I can go to the
Right.
judge and be
Hi,
like,
I'm
sir,
David.
I
Yeah.
wasn't wearing a ski mask, so it's cool, right?
I did it in the public. They all saw what I did. So
Yeah.
yes, no, I'm with you 110%. Absolutely. I do want to get back and finish my thought on the disability policies at the
Disability
VA.
specific policies, yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing is the barrier to entry is too high. It shouldn't be that high. It should be much simpler, much easier in order for you to claim your disabilities, the issues that you have.
Right.
The second thing is the payouts, right? The payouts are far too low. If you have somebody, again, I know a few people that were in the military that are on full disability, and they can't survive on the payout. And it's supposed to be you can sure you can work on top of having disability, right? That just because your legs are disabled doesn't mean your brain doesn't work or your hands don't work, you know? So sure, you can build on top of your disability pay, but your disability pay is just that. If you're 100% disabled through the VA, you should at least have a bare minimum cost of living allowance. Like you should be able to afford a house and groceries, right? And a car. Like, you know what I mean? That's because that's what you fought for and you
And no
got broken
disqualifying
for.
factors.
No, you
I
got
want to take away disqualifying factors from extra earned income. So if a veteran gets a promotion at a new job he's got or something like that, or she's got, that just because they're making more money privately shouldn't take away from the benefits they've already earned. I'm sorry, we have enough. We have enough.
we have more than enough. Is there disqualifying factors right now?
I think it caps out after you earn. I think it's as low as $2,600 or 2,000, $1,600 or $2,600. I can't remember. I was just speaking with Hannah, retired Marine, about this, and well, a couple months ago I was speaking to her about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
there's if you earn a certain amount privately, I believe it reduces your benefit payout amount, and then you have to go through the reapplication just to even keep it. And I think it caps it at like $600 or something like that maximum.
interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up. Um, that's good to know. I'm gonna look
Yeah,
that up for sure. I didn't know that. I guess I don't make enough money.
it's. I mean,
I do
it's
want to
hard
touch
fact.
on, so Riley just brought up that goes for veterans and active duty basic allowance that meet the area of living. You cannot nail that any harder to the wall. So when I was active duty, I was making $21,000 a year. Tell me who in this world can survive on $21,000 a year. Not to mention, like you talk about, oh, taking a vacation once a year is expensive in this country and hard for normal people to do who have decent salaries from good companies, right? That's hard. You pay a soldier $21,000 a year and then tell them to travel back and forth from where they're stationed to visit their family where they're from several times a year on 21 grand on top of paying all of their bills. That it just doesn't make any sense. So absolutely, Riley, you nailed it. We do not pay our service members enough. And one of the policies specifically we want to invest in and put forth is we want to create a 10% margin above and beyond what the current pay is for a veteran. That money is not touched by the veteran, though. It's instead put into an interest bearing account against the market, not like a 0.02 interest bearing savings account, against the market. And every month with their paycheck, 10% of not of their paycheck, but 10% of what would be their paycheck, right? So if they're making $2,000, $200 in addition to the 2,000 will go into this account every single month. And then when you get out of the military, if that's in 4 years or if that's in 6, 8, 20, it doesn't matter, then you will have that money presented to you as it grew the entire time. And so this way you can start a company with it. Your GI Bill should cover your schooling already, but if you want to go above and beyond that and keep going to school after the GI Bill ends, you have the money for that. It'll pay for your housing. It'll pay for a car if you need one. It'll, you know what I mean? You can do pretty much anything. The money is yours. But that would prevent so much homelessness that we have right now because it would give veterans a safety net the moment they get out of the military. Because if you look at the statistics, that is the most vulnerable moment in a veteran's life is when they get like the moment they get out of the military.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of the gap. That's what we need to plug. That's the stopgap we have.
I want to speak to what Sabrina is saying on the clock app here about women's rights. Both in service, they're going after them, taking them away, as well as private citizens, of course, we're seeing. And I want to push for and see a fight in the Supreme Court utilizing what the Christian nationalists have already weaponized their so-called religion and faith to take away women's rights. I want to see the same kind of case presented in the Supreme Court, essentially naming women as proprietary or proprietors of their own religion, and therefore their own religion belief protects them as far as, and I'm not talking about any kind of deity religion, but their own religion per our own laws, protect them to be able to be in control of their own bodies and their own choices. So if we could get organizations and stuff to do that, to basically uno reverse the strategy that the Christian nationalists have been using towards the Supreme Court and overturning things like Roe v. Wade, that would apply both to private citizens nationwide as well as armed forces, so that we could reinstate free will and freedom and liberty and a woman's own right to her own body. So, um, why that argument hasn't been made by these organizations, I do not know. But I want to push for it because this perversion of religion to impede upon and infringe upon other people's civil liberties and rights, that tactic can be used against those that are using that tactic, that same tactic, by essentially just flipping the language around to protect those that are currently being persecuted.
Yeah. I think we've been asked several times, like, what's your policy on racism or what's your policy on women? And I think it's appalling that we have to come up with a policy to protect something that shouldn't need protecting,
Yep.
right? It's like how can you get more common sense than somebody is their own person,
Mm-hmm.
right? How can you? It's appalling, and it's
Yeah.
upsetting, you know.
Right, Riley just hit the nail on the head there. Said utilizing the First Amendment to protect women's rights. I love it, and that's essentially what it is. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech. It could all apply, just like the greedy used it for Citizens United, and just like Christian nationalists are using their faith, places like Hobby Lobby and things like that, to take away other people's rights, can be flipped on its head. And I'd really love to see some constitutional lawyers take that to the Supreme Court. I know once I get elected, I'll be pushing for it.
We should look into that. I don't think we've thought of that, but that's a great idea. Honestly, it is.
I mean, I'm not an Ivy League educated guy, but I got a couple good ideas.
I like that one. I'm on board, and I'm a woman, so I say it's good.
I would definitely want a team of lawyers. I mean, we'll get a team of lawyers, right?
Oh
So
yeah. Yep.
yeah,
Well, we choose
absolutely.
we choose our own staff, and the majority of my staff, not unlike the new mayor of New York City, will be women, will be marginalized, will be veterans. Um, I'm definitely going to need a security detail of that. I've already got a bunch of people in mind that are combat veterans because man, those Kevlar vests, they get heavy and they get hot, and I fully expect to have to wear them every single damn day. But hey, do what we got to do to remove these roadblocks that have led us to where we are today.
Yeah,
Kyle, I'm your security. You're good. You don't have to worry about it.
yeah, facts. Not worried at all.
Edie is Kyle security,
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
really?
campaign manager slash security.
What's your experience, Edie?
um, I'm 5'2",
Hot yoga.
and I have a lot of big feelings that need to go somewhere.
Five
So,
foot two and big feelings. Did
yeah.
you did Wow, I'm gonna have to poach her from you, Kyle. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
good luck.
She's overqualified.
I'm a hard ass. What can I
You
say?
can't.
5 foot two and big
They've all
feelings.
signed a
Watch
non-compete.
out.
They've all signed a non-compete. So you talk about that. Like my staff right now is do we have we have Jeff who we have Graph Jeff who does most of our like analytics for the district, and we just brought on Matt and Nate.
Are are you
Outside of
literally
that,
naming your staff
let's hear
to
me out. Hear me out.
to
Hear
their
me out.
specialty?
Hear me out.
Inside thoughts, Kyle.
Outside of that, no.
So
Listen,
we've got Graph
no,
Jeff.
no, no,
He
no,
makes
no.
graphs.
The same, this, yeah, his Graph Jeff. The same way you said it earlier, they can know the playbook all they want. It's not
I've
going to help
got
them.
I've got Bigfoot Yogi.
They can know the
That's an
playbook all
inside
they
joke
want. It's
because
not going to help them.
Yogi
I'm
likes
sorry. I just
Bigfoot.
need to acknowledge the fact that someone in the comments said 5'2" with an attitude can topple governments.
It's
Yes, we
true.
can. Thank you
No,
very
it's
much.
hey, you know what? You never see him coming because usually I'm looking straight ahead and not down. So I literally never see
Exactly.
him coming, and never underestimate the ferocity of a small giant.
Facts.
But outside of them, my entire staff is women. The entire
Riley,
thing.
yes, we could still use staff. Reach out. Sorry.
Absolutely,
Continue.
Riley. 110%. But my entire staff is, and that's intentional because they're a lot smarter than I am. And,
Please write
and,
that down.
yeah, right. And I know, like I can be hard headed and I'll be like, no, that's how we're doing things in this campaign right now. And it usually takes me a little bit of time to calm down. But they are far more intelligent than I am, and they're running us down the right path. And I will maintain that my entire staff will be marginalized people and women.
You know what? There has been nothing weaker and softer in the history of the world um, than the patriarchy melting and freaking out because they think that they're going to be replaced by women. Nothing says
Snowflake.
inferiority and insecurity more than these self-proclaimed alpha men that can't even acknowledge and face up to the fact that women are the strongest damn people on this planet.
There's that preacher who's a Christian nationalist, and he's got several million followers and a blue check on every social platform. And he goes around publicly speaking about how women need to just be back in the kitchen and they're meant to be carriers for the babies. And he was in a podcast after the election that just happened, and he was talking about how when he started this and like the program it's like a Turning Point USA type program. He's like, when I started this back in 2019, I was getting death threats and people hated me and I had no following. He's like, but after the Trump election, and he's saying it's like it's a good thing, right? Of course, but he's like, after the last Trump election, I have the biggest following I've ever had. Millions and millions and millions of people are supporting me, and I'm like, how disgusting is it that that many people came out of the woodwork to tell women they need to go back to the kitchen and just raise babies and do nothing else, and that this guy has that much support? How disgusting is like that? Makes me sick.
No, I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm also not surprised at how weak and how pathetic those people are. Every single time I've ever had a confrontation with one of them in real life, they've always run away. So yeah, um, any man that behaves that way, in my opinion, is not actually a man. Sorry.
No, I'm with you. So I want to jump real quick back to veterans policies where we're supposed to be, which is fine. I love the tangents. I'm totally happy with them. But so just to clean it up, one of our main policies being in such a rural area, and again, this is a national seat, David, so this would definitely help your district as well if you were on board. We want to expand broadband services to all of the small rural towns to get high-speed internet everywhere, and for a good reason. We want to put in telehealth booths in town halls and in libraries all throughout my district, but also all rural areas, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't get access fast enough to veterans when they're having a mental health crisis.
Right.
We just don't. 22 a day is a slogan. It's no longer true. The number's higher,
Yeah, it's
right?
24 on average, and
Yeah,
it fluctuates between 24 and 26.
like we don't need to go into detail, but right over there is a photo of me and my wedding, and my best man in that photo, he's not here anymore
I'm so
because of
sorry.
that exact reason, right? And
I'm so
so
sorry.
it's so important to me that we put telehealth booths all over the place because people need help, especially our veterans who have seen some of the worst that humans have to offer this planet.
No, I like that idea, and as long as we can get this Trump administration out of the way, we should be able to easily reactivate the infrastructure bill that was in the process and making great headway on installing the broadband in rural America, and then add on to that, incorporate telehealth throughout it. Kiosks even. I'd love to see, just like college campuses have, those emergency call-in phone posts, whatever,
Hmm.
with the bright blue light on top. I've seen
Yeah,
for their students. I'd love to see stuff like that. Um, I mean, again, all of these things are possible.
they're
If
insanely
we
possible.
if we can afford to send billions upon billions, tens of billions, twenties of billions, twenties isn't a
It's a
word.
thing. 20s
Uh,
of billions.
20s of billions. Now I sound like Trump. If we can afford to send, 10 billion foreign niner over to other countries, we that we're paying them for their health care, and they're, move over to our country and we'll get you an apartment and all these different settle in this land and we'll pay you an extra stipend. If we can do all of those things, we should be able to stop, for one, doing those things and use those resources on things that actually help Americans here at home. Um,
How
because
much?
we
20 billion to Argentina?
40, it was double.
40,
Yeah,
40 billion
it
to
was 20.
Argentina.
It was 20 billion, 40 billion contingent upon Malay winning again, and he did. So it's 40 billion. Literally bought an election for a right wing fascist Malay who I'm sure has ancestry dating back to World War II and not on the good side.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah, there's so much. We have the capital. We have the money. We instead decided to give it
Yeah,
to corporations.
Republicans in Congress need to shut the hell up when they say, "Well, we can't afford it." SNAP benefits are $6 per day. People are getting on SNAP benefits. Congressman's food stipend per day is $72. So shut the fuck up when you say we don't have the money for it.
Is there a stipend?
Oh yeah, a food stipend of $72 per day.
So just so we're clear, so everyone is clear that's in the chat and live. I was going into this assuming that you have the base pay and nothing else is covered. I was going
So
into this assuming
you
I'm gonna
will
have to
get
pay for a ton of
not
stuff
not
out of
only
pocket.
that, you'll also get a budget of $1.5 million to cover your staff and office equipment.
Well, that I heard state based. So I heard your state determines what that budget
It's
is.
it's 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 on average. I think the high side is like 3 to 5 million, but on average it's 1.5 million to cover your staff. Which most even the busiest member of Congress, I think, maybe has 6 7 staff members tops. Um, so yeah, it's plus you get reimbursement for travel. Everything is and unlike Donald Trump, who brags that he's foregoing his salary and it's some big thing that he's foregoing 400K, even though he's bringing in billions of dollars
Billions in
privately.
corruption. Right.
I actually will use what's allotted to my office and give it directly back to my district.
Yeah. And that's a
I
great
I
idea. That's an
I don't
insane amount of money.
I only need salary for my staff, the health care that's allotted for my staff, and
And Rockstar.
Rockstar.
well, I'm going to work out a private darkroom closed door meeting with them. I'm actually going to be like, "Hey, Rockstar, I'm not corrupt, but for you, I will be."
And you're right. You're right. And
Um,
over an overhead for your office, and that's all you
I'm
need.
I'm kidding. I kid. But other than salary and healthcare for my staff, which will be above the standard salary, which is actually nothing for most of the staff for members of Congress. It's
Yep.
it's it's not a livable wage
It's
in
peanuts.
DC or Virginia, or they call it the DMV, uh, Maryland, Virginia, because a lot of people commute into there. But I will actually pay you a livable wage, and then any additional benefits, any funds, will go directly back into my district and to the communities, and not just organizations and things like that. But I want to. I mean, every member of Congress should do this. If you've got extra, um, you shouldn't just send it to some organization that's going to give you a tax write-off. Actually, do shit physically for your district, for the communities.
Yeah, I agree.
Hire waste management trucks to go around and pick up the trash from the side of the streets, or clean up the rivers, or have coat drives and things of this nature for people that are getting cold in the winter, or make sure people have clean. I mean, there's so many things
You
that
could do with it.
representatives could do, but these bastards do not represent anyone but their donors and their own generational wealth hoarding.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying all of them. There's in my personal opinion and belief, there are purists within our government, but is like 1%, if not less than that, of all of the members of Congress. And that really needs to be turned on its head. That number needs to be turned on its head. Otherwise, it's going to get worse. We are going to erupt in violent chaos and lawlessness and violence in the streets. We will follow suit of France. I know a lot of people are so frustrated and angry at what's happening today in current events and what this Trump administration is doing. And part of me inside is like, yeah, let's get this party started. Let's overthrow the government. Let's do this. But you also have to be a realist, and you have to say to yourself, innocent people will get hurt. And that
If
is
we
the
can do
last
this
that
right,
is the
if
last thing I want, is for innocent people to get hurt.
100%, if we can do this democratically, that's the plan. That's the goal. And
Yeah.
that's what we're fighting for. I do want to jump back. So Jenna had a question in the chat. How do we feel about the GI Bill and education for the military? And
I'm
then
gonna let you guys
Riley,
answer that real quick. I need to give my dog medicine. I'll be right back.
go for it. Riley jumped in and said, honestly, GI Bill is amazing if used correctly. Going to a yellow ribbon school helps so much. And I want to challenge that thought. So I'll clear that up for everyone that doesn't know. The GI Bill only pays up to a certain dollar amount every year. So you can't just go to any school you want. You can't just go to Harvard. Even if you qualify, you can't just go, right? You didn't earn that well of a school in the government's eyes. And so there's these programs called the Yellow Ribbon Program, and schools can apply for it. And basically, the school will pay the lapse in tuition that the government won't pay in your GI Bill. And the fact that schools have to come out of pocket for that, right? And the fact that the GI Bill doesn't just allow you to go to school where you can, is insane to me. But I want to tackle one more thing that I have an issue with the GI Bill that we want to change. In this country, we at some point in time have determined that a standard degree is a 4-year degree, right? And that's what you need for your bachelor's. Yet the GI Bill offers a 3-year program. That's all you get is 3 years. So you can go serve your country. You can go lose your leg. You can go get shot at. You can lose all of your friends, right? And you still can't go get a 4-year degree on the GI Bill. It blows my mind. And so that's one of the things we want to tackle for sure is we want to extend the GI Bill, right? There should be no handcuffs on the GI Bill whatsoever. If we're going to offer free tuition, we need to offer a free degree is what we need to offer.
Yeah,
Blanket statement.
yeah, I agree. Um, I mean, it all falls back on the excuse that the opposers of adding these extra benefits and making things easier for veterans will always fall back on is saying that we don't have enough money, and that's simply a lie. We do have enough money. We're just choosing to use it on things that benefit individuals directly, like members of Congress and like this administration, which is just based and rooted in corruption. If we absolutely do believe in support the troops, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, paying respect and honor to those that selflessly served. On top of those that go back to things like Vietnam, where they had no choice and they were drafted. Um, there's so much more we actually can do um, to make their lives so much easier, and it's multi beneficial for our country. One, it's going to boost recruiting numbers and morale for people that want to join the service and do their patriotic duty. For two, it's going to lead to a better nation as a whole, where you have people coming out of the armed forces with higher education, with jobs lined up. One of the things Google did, which I'm not a big fan of Google right now because they are falling and bending the knee towards Donald Trump, but one of the things they did about 8, 9 years ago was they added a little widget to their search. So if you just type in a Google search bar, if you're fresh out of service and you're having a hard time finding work as a private citizen again, it lets you put in your MOS and it will just auto populate. It's still there to this day. It was a great addition to Google search. It'll populate private sector jobs that are related to that MOS, making it easier. But what
That's
I also
cool.
what I also want to do as a family member of a long line of service members, there are things that our service members are training for and teaching and learning and getting certified while active that are not tying over to the private sector. Like if you become a medic or something like that, then all of your medic certification, all that does not transfer over to the private sector. And if you practice any of what you learned while you served out in the private sector, you can actually be sued because you don't have the corresponding civilian certification. Why are people being trained and educated in jobs, in skills, in service, and being certified while in service? And why are those certifications not transferring directly over to the private sector? That
Yeah.
makes no sense to me. I want
I
to
don't
I want to
think
get rid of that.
I don't think any of the I don't think anything like you can get a truck driver's license in the military.
A
I don't
truck
think it
driver,
transfers
a
over.
mechanic, any of
Like I
that.
was airborne. I have
Yeah,
over 80 jumps out of different planes and helicopters, and
yeah,
I can't just go jump, right? I have to go through a whole new school,
yeah,
restudy it all.
pay
Like, and that's just and pay, yeah,
and
and
pay.
pay.
Yeah, all of that. I want to put a law in place that if you are trained in a specialized skill in the military and certified in that skill, that education, that certification transfers over automatically. Now, do I believe that means that for the lifetime of you that certification is valid? No, I think just like in the private sector, you have to re-up certification stuff like healthcare,
Hmm.
nursing credentials, things like that. You have to re-up it, re-exam, retake, recertify, whatever. But right out of leaving the service, that certification should effortlessly transfer over to the private sector.
Yeah, absolutely. I think honestly that policy combined with my policy to give service members a head start when they get out, which is a 10% savings account.
Right.
Those two things together would really change what it's like for service members when they get out. Because the whole idea in my head is how do I plug that gap? How do I bridge the two worlds, right?
Right.
So because that's where people fall off. That's
Right.
where the hardest hits
And
come.
it's a domino effect. It leads to the homeless rate veterans expanding. It leads to the 22 to 26 per day expanding, and even for regular American economy and life, it's all connected. It's all a domino effect, and
Hmm.
you can solve one problem. And opposers to it will say, "Well, we can't afford it," but that one problem solved can actually address a litany of other issues in the country. So it's an investment in our own country. So we got to stop sending our investment dollars out of state, out of country, and bring those investment dollars back into our country because it does all add to itself.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you 100%. Is there anything specific that we were supposed to cover that we haven't yet?
I'm looking. I mean, I think honestly we've hit it all. The biggest things I just want to make sure that we've talked about are both of your respective like policies, and I feel like we've done that. But I mean, is there anything else that either of you feel like we haven't hit on both of your policies that you really want to, drive home?
No, I wrote down a closing remarks, but I can't access it because it's on my phone. I don't think.
Is it
Costs a lot, but
the
yeah.
like closing that Yogi sent to me?
Yeah, yeah.
If you want,
Edie can read it for you.
I can read it for you.
Yeah, okay. We'll do that TikTok trend where it's the couple or whatever, and they one moves the mouth and then the other goes behind camera and voices over the movement of the mouth.
I have
Yeah,
not seen
perfect.
that. That's so funny.
Um, yeah, please. Hi, everybody. My name is David Clayton. Edie is up there and down here, and she is not my campaign manager. She's fabulous. She is a North Carolina resident, and I'm proud to call her a fellow North Carolinian. She is working for that man. Please go support him, volunteer for him, donate to him. Back to me, because I'm independent and on my own as well without those giant RNC or DNC dollars or super PAC dark money. Clayton, the number 4NC.com. And you can look at my issues page and take it away, Edie. This is what I wrote down to sign off on tonight.
All right, this is David's closing statement. So any backlash, please don't come for me. I'm kidding. It's great. All right, our country is come for the rock star. Our country is at a precipice. We are seeing that we have more in common than what separates us, and the common denominator of what unites us is the removal of corruption that has led us to where we are today. Your mouth moving is, I can't, it's throwing me off. My name is David Clayton. Not my name, his name. And I'm challenging, he's challenging, 82-year-old Virginia Fox of North Carolina's District 5. I am, he is, an independent running for independence for all Americans to bring back the definition of the word representative. You can support his campaign by visiting Clayton4, nc.com. Because the only donors he, is beholden to are donors of the people, as it's supposed to be.
That was brilliant.
Thank you.
That's
I
the
don't know
thing,
what I don't
David.
know what
No.
that
Trust you me.
was.
That's the thing I just learned like a week ago. Somebody did this to me in one of our team meetings,
Mhm.
and I was like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "This
That's
is cheering."
It's
that's
like
a
it's like a
thing.
tiny clap. It's like
Yeah.
tiny applause. So
That
instead of
that's that's a thing. Just like I will never ever say just you me, or would you just say to
Just
just you
what?
me, just trust me, or just know me? You just said something
trust
that
you me.
trust you me. Like I will never use that phrasing. Trust you me, trust you me,
Trust you me.
trust you me.
I'm thinking that through. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense.
I think it's a
Trust you me.
Connecticut. I have a feeling it's a Connecticut thing.
Did I say that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said no, David. Trust you me, trust you me.
I don't know that
I just blacked out. It's
I don't
fine.
even remember saying that. What does that even mean? Trust you, me. I don't know.
Trust you me.
We're
Yeah,
See
it's
thinking too
everybody.
like
hard.
This
it's like take my word for it. Like
No,
So
no, no.
every
I know what
so
it
everybody
means,
knows
but think
this.
about
This
it.
is
It doesn't
actually
make
a
sense.
hard, trying job. We both are creators as well as congressional candidates, as well as have our own respective families. Even though my family is four-legged, so I am a little bit, you would think, luckier in that regard because it's less responsibility. But you have not met my dog, and he is only a perfect angel when he sleeps. My campaign manager knows all about that, and hence the bags under the eyes. But look, trust you me. This is very trying times for everybody, but we will come through this together, and I mean that with all sincerity from the bottom of my heart. And one
Absolutely.
of and the reason why I say stronger together, together stronger at the end of my videos is because uh, especially if you're feeling down, especially if you're feeling anxiety riddled or alone, which you are absolutely not alone. There are and always will be more of us than them. And as long as there is air in my lungs or air in Mr. Gauck's lungs, this fight will never be over. We will never give up. We will never surrender. And we will come out the other side on this. As impossible as that feels sometimes in this chaotic, crazy news cycle, uh, what I really lean on personally when I'm feeling down is all of you because I find strength from all of you. I'm inspired every single day because of all of you. And when I'm lacking on strength myself, I find if I go out and I help, like my neighbor who is on Snap, just do one nice thing. If that's all you can do in your daily life for somebody else and give them strength, man, that strength just builds within yourself. There is something absolutely true, whether you're a theist or an atheist amongst the common principle of love thy neighbor. That's how we all get along. That's how we all survive, and that's how we all get through this together.
Well said. Very well said. So I want to touch on that last part for a second. There's a video I posted. I started off with ICE agents because I wanted to bring in the biggest crowd possible. Every dime that our campaign brings in via TikTok from the 1st of November to the 15th of November will be taken and donated to either a food shelter or a homeless shelter. But it will do something to serve the people that are affected. Every dime that are affected by this government shutdown right now. And I don't care if those people are independent. I don't care if they're Republican. I don't care if they will and will vote if they did and will vote against me. I don't care. They are American and they deserve the same love and respect that the rest of us do. So if you're in here and you haven't seen that video, please go to my channel, go look at that video. It's going to help. Share that video. It's going to help. And we'll make it public. I will share all of the money we made. I will show you, and I will show you us donating it, just so everyone knows.
I believe in everything you're doing, everything you say, and the transparency of all, especially in these uncertain times. Look, everybody, we shouldn't have to feed our neighbors because they have no food. We shouldn't have to. We shouldn't even be in this situation. But damn it, we will.
Yeah,
And like Kyle said, even if they're independent or Republican, be an example. Be the best version of us that you want to see in every other American, taking care and helping every American. Don't get sucked into the polarization war and the division war. I'm not saying have a kumbaya moment with racists or misogynists or abusers. I'm not saying break bread with people that are openly and blatantly against personal liberties, freedoms, and respect of fellow Americans. But I am saying the ones that are just Americans, even if they disagree with you politically, if they're in need, show them the way, be the example, and help them because that is the principle of United We Stand.
absolutely.
And you'll find that a lot more of them will actually come into opening up and listening to your perspective and understanding truth instead of the propagandized weapon that has misinformed and brainwashed too many people.
I try to. Oh, man, I'm not going to go there. So I was thinking about MAGA folks, and I won't do it. I'm with you 110%. And I honestly, I think it's the best thing any one of us could do is help your neighbor, no matter who they are, right? No matter what they stand for. Even set aside the American thing as a human,
As
right?
a human.
At the end of the day, all of this is material, right? How much money you make, it doesn't matter. You all go to the grave the same way you were born, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, every one of us do. And so to treat somebody differently because they make less money or because they have different color skin or because they're of a different ethnicity. Yeah, different
You want
backgrounds.
you want to see better treatment throughout Americans that you disagree with, then lead the way and be the example. Set the standard for how behavior should be.
100%. We did actually. My wife, who's amazing, talented, so smart. She put out she ordered a ton of stuff that's pantry stable and put it out next to our bucket for Halloween, and said, "Being hungry is scary." She had a sign out, a really cool sign, like spooky looking Halloween sign. "Being hungry is scary. Please take any and all you need." And we put ramen out, cans of soup.
That's awesome.
It was, yeah. I mean, it was so brilliant of her. Like, honestly, I wouldn't even thought of that. So amazing. Um,
Love you, Melissa.
yeah. I don't think she's in here, but
Still love
either way.
you.
All right, so let's close it out, right? So, David, that was an amazing closing, by the way, and I'll let you do it again totally if you want, because we did talk for a while afterwards. But my name's Kyle Gauck. I'm running for Congress in the second district of Connecticut. Um, I'm someone who grew up dirt poor. Okay, I was evicted. I should say I was a child. My family was evicted. We moved apartment to apartment to apartment all the time. I couldn't have stable friends. I never went to the same school for more than a year. We never had anything, personal belongings, because how do you do that? You're getting kicked out of everywhere you move, right? Um, and so I grew up with that mentality of being a fighter, right? And not in a bad way, in a good way. And I also grew up with the mentality of I lived somewhere where you could see very wealthy people and still be extremely poor yourself and in poverty. And that gave me a sense of justice to fight for everybody out there, because I didn't think that it was fair that just right across the street, some people have so much excess and other people are starving. It just didn't make sense to me. And so I decided to fight. It's one of the main reasons I joined the military, was because I wanted to fight for this country that I believe in, this country that I love. And it's the same reason I stood up to fight and join Congress, right? It's because I want to continue that service and I want to continue to fight for everybody here in this country. So again, my name's Kyle Gauck. You can go to my website, kylegauck.com. You can go to his website. He's there and there. That's David Clayton, which is Clayton, the number 4nc.com. And then, or kylegauck.com. And both of us would love volunteers. Absolutely. Both of us would love donations. We have a free newsletter, goes out every Thursday if you want to keep up with the campaign. And I will say specifically, if you don't have anything, and there are a lot of people who don't, right? Everyone's struggling right now, and I totally understand. We love volunteers. I would rather not take funds from people if we don't have to. Unfortunately, things do cost money, and they are very expensive in the political world right now, which is one thing we want to change. But volunteers are huge, and we love, love, love volunteers. So thank you very much. And as always, if you made it this far, thank you. I love you.
Yeah. And a special thank you to Edie for moderating this. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm gonna do my little campaign manager wrap up. So anything else you two want to say before I do the down and dirty quick business side of things?
Business
Nope.
side of things. Shoot.
Yeah, business side of things. Hey, look, it's all business, right? Okay, big thank you to Kyle and David for their time. Obviously, they are both running for Congress. If you are new here, I know we're about to end, but if you're new here, they're running for Congress. David is running in North Carolina against Virginia Fox. She is 82 years old. Gotta go. Kyle is running against Joe Courtney. He is 71 years old. He has been in office in this seat specifically for 20 years. Gotta go. Both grassroots funded. That means people, dollars. No corporations, corporate PACs, all the fun stuff. No AI PAC. No is real money. Make sure you are following all of the accounts. Please follow David. Please follow Kyle. This is Kyle's backup account on both the Clock app and Instagram. We need donations. We need volunteers. We need door knockers. We need phone callers. We need all of the things. If you have time, have the ability, have the desire, have the passion, want to get involved in politics, help us out. Help any of us out. It would be great. I think that's it. Love you all. Thank you for being here. Yeah, until next time.
Thank you so much, Edie. Thanks, Kyle. Always a
David,
pleasure.
you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it before we sign off.
Okay, trust you me. Hold on one second.